to November. What's there? So let's get out in front of this if we can with our political panel tonight. Republican strategist and CEO of VetComm.us, Kate Monroe, and Democratic strategist and founder of Blueprint Strategy, Antoine Seawright. Good to see you both. So Antoine, we're going to start with you. 34 guilty counts. Why is President Biden not out there doing cartwheels?
Well, because the rule of law prevailed, and the president has maintained that the judicial system and the political system are two different systems in this country. As Democrats, we've always said from the very beginning, we will defeat Trump and Trumpism at the ballot box. Separate and apart from that, the judicial system seems to be undefeated when it comes to the former president. 2 times he's been in court, and 2 times he's had convictions. At the end of the day, I am proud as an American that the rule of law prevailed, and I am proud the fact that he has been held accountable because no one is above the law, even a former president.
Okay, so Katie, do you think that, is that a mercy of President Biden? I mean, because I can imagine Donald Trump would be out there doing a Bob Fosse number, you know, like, ha, 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 we got you.
I mean, is it a mercy? They completely weaponize the justice system against President Trump. I don't think that is a mercy. That's a laughable sentiment, in my opinion. Absolutely not. I would say that they waved their flag directly in his face by having Robert De Niro show up, all of their surrogates out there directly across from him. So what they're doing is not mercy, just for the record.
But no disrespect to my Republican colleague here, but we're talking about the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and his outrageous, aggressive, bully-like behavior we've seen as a candidate in 2016, as a president for 4 years, and now as a candidate again. The news media has spent its time covering this case because we are in uncharted territory. Never has a candidate for the highest office in the land be a convicted felon. So the campaign went to where the news media was. That's not a waving any type of flag. That's meeting people where they are. Secondarily, the prosecutor in this case is duly elected by the people. This is not some rigged case against the former president. He's being held accountable for his crimes because he is an everyday citizen like all of us.
Katie, if you want 20 seconds to respond, and then I have something to move on to. Go ahead.
Yeah, correct. You know, he didn't get prosecuted for what went on with the Biden family and Ukraine or any of the other things that the Biden family have done. So this completely one-sided bias toward making sure that we politicize everything that happens with Trump is absolutely ridiculous. You're acting like you're sitting over here and the Biden family is without any dirt on their shoes. I mean, we need to get a grip in America and be less biased. That's what journalism is.
Antoine, Trump raised $35 million in the span of 6 hours last night, according to his campaign. 30% of them are first-time donors. I cannot imagine that Democrats love that.
Well, first of all, let's see the proof, because just because Trump and Trump foot soldiers say it does not make it true. We've seen that movie before. But if it is, that's no surprise, because the Republican Party is calcifying around their nominee. And so we've seen this idea of Democrats falling in love and Republicans falling in line. But at the same time, we've seen after big events of our candidate, Joe Biden, where we've raised records amounts of money, and that's why we're winning the money game here. And at the end of the day, if people want to give to a convicted felon who has an abysmal record when it comes to on behalf of the American, then take it.
Antoine, you're talking about record sums. If I remember the money right, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had 3 Democratic presidents, filled up Radio City, and still got $10 million less than the number I just said.
But there's still a record amount of money, and you add it all up, guess who's ahead in the money race? It's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats, because the former president, all his money has been going towards legal fees. So I think we have to have clarity when it comes to the money conversation.
Okay,
to the Republican side, okay. The former president, in how is he supposed to fundraise? Like, that is laughable to me. Anyway, carry on.
7% or so. Sorry, guys. I got to move us forward or we're going to get stuck. Katie, 7% or so of Trump voters say in a recent poll, I would consider switching to Biden if Trump is convicted. Now he's convicted. Do you worry? I mean, 7% would be devastating if you look at the polls.
I think there's a long road before we get to the general election. I mean, it's the same as everybody on the other side saying they're going to move out of the country if Trump gets elected. They don't do that either. I doubt people are going to switch lanes. People can easily look back in time and realize that they were safer under President Trump and they had a lot more money. And that's at the end of the day what people care about. They don't care about his trials. They care about themselves and the status of America in general.
How about free speech? Because GOP leadership and VP contenders immediately, Kate, were lockstep behind Trump. One guy, Larry Hogan, he's a Senate candidate right now in Maryland, really popular, former governor there, Republican. He had the temerity to say, we need to be calm. We need to accept the results and let this all play out. The Trump campaign manager tweeted, your campaign is over. Is there no room for dissent in your party?
I mean, there's always room. Like even in my own company, we don't always all get along. I mean, I think certainly not every single person in the party is going to stay lockstep in line. I will applaud the left for staying in line no matter what rhetoric it gets given. I mean, they can literally hate each other and stay in line. I sometimes wish we would say snugged in tighter, that we had better leadership. But if a single person decides to go rogue, I don't think it's going to be the end for Trump.
Okay, might be the end for Hogan. We'll see. Antoine, timeline here. Let's look ahead. Early voting begins in some states in September. Then we have the Trump sentencing in July. We have 2 national conventions. We have another debate after that. Will these 34 felony convictions be old news by November?
Who knows? I don't know. No one should be able to honestly say they can predict how this will impact the race because we're in uncharted territory here. Here's what I do know. If the Democrats had a convicted felon running as the president candidate for president of the United States, you can only imagine the response that would come from the right. If Antoine Seawright was a convicted felon, I could not even serve in the United States government. Better yet, run to seek the office that will be in charge of the government. So we'll see how that true narrative impacts the American people come November, regardless of your political party.
To that point, Kate, do you still think Donald Trump is the strongest possible Republican out there in the entirety of America?
I do. I mean, I think we're already so far into it now. It is President Trump. No, it doesn't matter if we feel like he's the strongest or not. He has proven he's the strongest. I mean, the man literally wrote a book in 1997, The Art of the Comeback. He's going to come back stronger. You try to put him in jail, give him a mugshot, he sells it as merchandise. You weaponize your judicial system against him, he gets 34 accounts, and he raises more money than he ever did. I think he's going to be just fine rolling into the general.
All right, we're this far in. Do you feel the same about Joe Biden, Antoine? Is he the strongest Democrat in the entirety of America?
I feel like Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. I feel like we have the best players on the field. We have the best team structure around them, and we certainly have the best plays. For Democrats, it's all about execution.
Would you like to circle yes or no?
Yes. I don't know how I
can be strongest in America.
Yes, I believe Joe Biden is the strongest candidate we can put up. That's why he's going to be president of the United States.
Got it. Democratic strategist Antoine Seawright, Republican strategist Kate Monroe. Good